This is the Mariners POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Seattle Mariners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Mariners POSTCAST. The Seattle Mariners take Game 1 against the Kansas City Royals in resounding fashion with a 6-2 victory. George Kirby goes 6 innings. Cal Raleigh hits another home run for 33 on the season. Randy Arozarena. It's almost as if someone was really pushing for him to have more power. He hits 2, including a 3-run jack to break the game open. Easy vote from my player of the game is Randy Arozarena. But this is your Mariners POSTCAST. My name's Anderson Hurst. That's Christopher Crawford. We go live right after every single Mariners game and break down the game that was right after the final pitch. We're going to talk Randy and Cal. We're going to talk George Kirby. Maybe talk some bullpen decisions. I know it was a win and there's a lot of positives, but we still got to kind of put things in perspective a little bit in terms of the decision-making on that front. But Chris Crawford, what are your original thoughts after this win?
So I knew somebody was going to notice, and I'm glad that somebody did notice. I couldn't deal with it anymore. It was 90 degrees, and I've got this Brillo pad on my face, and I just said, no more. And I feel so much better and look a little bit younger, right?
Hell
like
yeah.
I actually look like I'm 32 again. I'm not 32. This was another game where I think process didn't beat results. I thought the Mariners made a lot of mistakes, both in the managerial area, some not great hitting at times, but George Kirby was excellent.
Yes, he was.
And it was so great to see Randy Arozarena with that type of game. And, you know, not to toot my own horn, and I guess we can talk about it a little bit more, but I did happen to say on Mollywop Monday that the one thing I was looking for Randy Arozarena to do was to start driving the baseball more. Well, this is what he's capable of. And this is what we have seen from him for his entire career. He's never been a 30-homer guy. He certainly has the power for it, right? Like he has that chance. Yeah. Mile Wide Jr. is very funny, by the way.
I knew you'd get
I love that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. He certainly has the bop, you know, to be a 30-homer guy. But, you know, because he's a patient hitter, sometimes he doesn't always swing at those drivable pitches. But we certainly need a slugging percentage above 400 from Randy Arozarena, right? We need that at least. It's so great to see that and to see Pig Dumper, man. I almost said the naughty word. It's just so special to see what he is doing and seeing that opposite field power as well. I loved this game. Yeah. There were some decisions that drove me nuts, though.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We can get to those in just a second, but let's start with the lead here. Let's start with the start. George Kirby, 6 innings. What is the final line? I think it's 5 strikeouts, no walks.
Just 3 hits allowed, the 1 run. 60 of 85 pitches for strikes, and I think that 85 number is what we need to talk about because, look, I thought George Kirby pitched really well. There were a couple moments where he just missed his spots, but he was still able to get away with it. Let's be completely honest here, though, too. The Kansas City Royals offense sucks out loud. And it's so disappointing that they do because there's some really talented guys there. And they're getting a unbelievable season from Cal Garcia. If you told me that Cal Garcia was putting up these kind of numbers, I'd be saying, wow, Kansas City must be a really good offense. Nope. Very, very last in baseball in runs scored. And I think we saw a little bit why Salvador Perez has really slowed down. But that's not taking away any credit from Kirby. I thought his slider was really good today. And my only issue here is I saw some diminished velocity at points, a lot of 92, 93. It's possible he wasn't going full gear. You know, Anders, you brought up before we went on air that maybe he was, you know, maybe saving a little bit. And I thought the announcers made a great point as well. I can't remember if it was Goldsmith or RRS, or if it was Hyphen, that like sometimes the Mariners just have these games where it's like, you are not throwing more than 85 pitches. You are not going to go more than 6 innings today. So it's possible they did that, but it's concerning to me because he certainly was good enough to go another inning, maybe even 2. He was so efficient in those later innings, But overall, a very solid start from George Kirby. I would say probably his second best start of 2025.
Yeah, and the first one's probably the best start of his career in Los Angeles. So
right.
That's
yeah,
great if that's your second best start of 2025. But this looked more like the George Kirby that we know and love from 22 and 23, and then parts of last year as well, where like he's just dominating the strike zone. These are the types of lineups I think match up really well against him, where they don't have a ton of pop and you can kind of get away with some mistakes here and there, or not even mistakes, just like get away with throwing at just a blank ton of strikes, which is what he likes to do. So I do love that, he was able to get this outing in him. But, you mentioned the velocity dip. Sometimes that is injury related.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it is just you don't have it to that one day.
Sure.
And sometimes it is, like we said, like by that time they had the lead. He kind of realized this, as you just said, as everyone probably knows in baseball, this lineup sucks that you're going against. You don't have to have your 95, 96, 97 fastball to get past these guys. You just have to kind of just rear in and put it in there, and there's not a very high chance that they're going to put it anywhere. So there's all those factors that can look into it. I'm trying to refresh Twitter to see if there's any news. I would doubt that they would say anything, even if there is something going on, but I'll keep an eye on it for you guys. I still am more encouraged than I am discouraged from George today.
I would agree with that as well. Just the fact that it looked like he maybe had his second best command of this year so far. Like even the start against Minnesota, 6 innings of 1-run baseball, there were moments where he was just missing with his stuff.
And he wasn't getting a lot of swing and miss. He was today.
Right. He ends up generating, I believe, 13 swings and misses today, which is a very solid number, especially over any 85 pitches. The rest of the pitching.
So let's go right into it. Let's go right into it. Before we get to the offense, we'll talk about the offense a little bit later. But George Kirby goes 6 pretty just without breaking a sweat.
Very efficient.
85 pitches. You had just come off 3 straight extra inning games where you taxed the living crap out of your bullpen.
Yeah.
Literally everyone was used about as much as they possibly could.
Sure.
There's almost no reason, unless there is an injury, to not put him out there for the 7th. But you put out Spire in the 7th, and then you go Thornton in the 8th, and then you get Brash in the 9th. Talk about the decision making. I was pretty surprised they went to Thornton after he got 2 innings yesterday.
Yeah.
There's just why not give Juan Burgos his MLB debut? This is like the perfect time. They're purposely limiting their bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's some weird decisions in this game that we have to talk about. But what did you think about the bullpen usage?
I didn't get it. It just didn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense to me, especially here's the other thing. Not only is your bullpen taxed from the 3 extra inning games that they played, by the way, Rangers played another one today. They've went 11 innings. They played 5 of their last 6 games in extra innings. I've never seen that before. Yeah. It's absolutely bonkers. Not only is it taxed from that, you've got a 4-game series coming up and then 3 in a row after that. You do not have an off day until next Monday. I don't understand unless there was something with Kirby where it was injury related or they were concerned about the velocity. And I'm praying it's not. I'm just praying it's Dan Wilson making a questionable decision. I'll put it nicer than you. Jeez. Yeah. No, that's fair.
There's not anything like that. It's just dumb.
It doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense there because now your bullpen's pretty taxed for tomorrow. You're probably not going to have Gabe Spire available tomorrow because got a lot of swing and miss yesterday, and today, by the way, 1 pitch away from an immaculate inning. Congratulations to Gabe Spire. That was really impressive. That was probably
I thought he was going to get it. I honestly thought he was going to get it.
I did too. And that was a really impressive inning from him. Probably the best I've seen him look in quite some time, especially against right-handers. It's nice to see some success there. But then going to Trent Thornton in a game where he threw 2 innings and 22 pitches yesterday. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. And it unfortunately leads to using Matt Brash for a 3rd day in a row. And I love Matt Brash like more than
he didn't pitch yesterday.
He did not pitch yesterday?
Matt Brash did not pitch yesterday.
Okay. So that changes my opinion a little bit because That's great. For some reason, I thought this was going to be his third straight game. That makes more sense, right?
Yes.
Because, he did work them back to back, and this is 3 out of 4 that he's pitched.
This is 3 out of 4. Yes. That's where I thought you were going with it. Okay.
Right. Still, I want to be really careful with Matt Brash because I believe in his long-term ability so much. And I brought this up on Molly White Monday as well. I want Matt Brash healthy to maybe help your rotation next year because with that third pitch now, with that changeup, I want him as fresh as possible. Ultimately, my biggest why is George Kirby only throwing 85 pitches? We've seen him stretched out beyond that already. We saw him throw 96 in that start against the Angels. So that's my biggest question mark here. Having said that, everybody but Thornton looked good. Everybody who went on the mound did a very solid job. If he's not a starter, and he's probably not, if I'm being completely honest with you, but if he's not a starter, Matt Brash is probably going to be the best reliever in baseball by this point next year. Like his stuff is just that good. That's the ability to miss that bat and now having that third pitch to offer against left-handers as well. Yowza. It was a really impressive outing, but I don't want to see him overworked. I do not want to see Matt Brash overworked because he is so important for both the success at the end of this year and also the coming seasons as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a little hot take. You guys can clip that and make sure when that does happen next year.
There you go.
Chris Crawford said it first. The biggest question for me is why Trent Thornton? Fine if Kirby's has some stuff going on, like, all right, be careful. But why, if anyone doesn't know this, Juan Burgos was called up from AAA Tacoma like about a week ago. They still haven't used him. They still have not used him. And if you're not going to use him in the 8th inning of a 5-run game at that point, you're up 6-1 against a terrible lineup at home in Seattle. When are you going to use him? Why is he on this roster then if you don't even trust him in that situation?
If you don't trust Juan Burgos to face John Rave, what's going on?
I had to check that, make sure that was a real name.
Yeah,
honestly,
super good athlete, fun name too because you can play the glow sticks. That's me with glow sticks, by the way. I'm young now, so I can make rave jokes. If you're not trusting, then why is he on the roster?
Yeah,
right. That's a great point. It's time to let him work, or or get off the pot.
Right, and it just especially when you are using a guy that you used for 2 innings yesterday. In an extra inning game. I don't know. There's just a lot of weird things that happen in this game. It doesn't end up hurting them. They end up getting this win. Matt Brash, by the way, looked insanely good in that 9th inning. Literally just pounded 3 straight hitters and just no chance for those guys. Let's talk about the offense right after we talk about some FanDuel. Does that sound good to you, Chris Crawford?
It sounds swimmingly. I don't think that's how you use that word.
All right, we have a new little setup here, so I had to make sure we got the overlay. But all right, summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting.
You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling with FanDuel? You can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. Be a good day for that sunburn today, especially if you live around where we live. Use FanDuel to track your favorite matchups. Fast to pay out, makes the regular season games feel like must-watch events. And whether you're doing a same game parlay or watching a bet right into the 9th inning, FanDuel makes it feel like you're part of the action.
Yeah. By the way, back to that even more exciting games. Man City lost in the Club World Cup today to Al Hilal. So I'm super excited with. I wish I had bet FanDuel before that, but would not have predicted that. But anyone who did probably got a lot of money. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, let's talk about the offense. I'm going to start with Randy, and then you can go into Cal because I've run out of words to say about Cal Raleigh. He's just really good.
Sure.
That's all I got. So Randy Arozarena, though, we've been kind of waiting for either him or Julio or both to kind of get going and pick up at least the power numbers. I think them getting on base as much as they are is still helping the team offensively every now and then, but we just need more thump from someone in the lineup besides Cal Raleigh. I know Dom Canzone's been providing a little bit of that recently. Mitch Garver here and there, Solano here and there, but someone who I can believe can sustain it. And I think that one guy, especially if he continues to swing the bat like he did today, is Randy Arozarena. So how big is that development if he starts to kind of get things going here?
Oh, it's huge, especially hitting behind Big Dumper, because if he gives pitchers a reason to throw Big Dumper strikes, it's going to be a massive benefit for this offense, because you're just seeing teams be so careful with Big. Heck, you saw it with the bases loaded today. That they did not want to throw him a pitch.
They almost were like, you know what, we might just intentionally walk you.
No, and it was, they were careful with him, and he just missed a pitch that was, in the middle. And I think if you ask Big Dumper after the game, he'd say, I should have hit that ball a little further. Yeah. Here's another thing I really liked about the offense today. So Michael Wacha has one of the best changeups in baseball, and that's not hyperbole. It is spectacular.
Very good.
The Mariners laid off a bunch of changeups today, a bunch of them in the zone, and it ended up paying a big difference, because if you get to his fastball, you've got a chance to have a really good time, and that's what they were able to do today. And as for Big Dumper, I mean,
what else can you say?
It's so fun to run out of words to say about a guy in game 84. It's so fun to just be like, I don't know what else you say other than he is just a spectacular baseball player who gets to play for the Seattle Mariners for another 6 seasons after this. And I am just elated to get to watch that dude play. It is just so fun. Oh, by the way, Big Dumper behind the plate tonight for George Kirby does a solid job.
That I was going to bring that up because, I mentioned every single time that George Kirby starts, I'm going to be like, all right.
Yeah.
So he that ticks one back into the Big Dumper column. I think it's maybe we can put aside the whole he needs to be pitching to Garver sort of thing.
Yeah. There you go. For a little bit anyway. It's if things go wrong, then maybe you think about the switchback, but it is nice to see those two have success. I'm just watching that Randy Arozarena homer, by the way. The second
both of them were
just crushed, and to opposite field too. Technically, I mean, they were pretty close to center.
One was like dead center. Yeah.
The fact that he was able to let that ball travel in and then drive that ball into that right center gap is massive. And it shows that he's feeling confident in driving the baseball there. Now we just need Julio to do the same thing. Yes. We just, if you can get all three of those guys playing at their best at the same time, this offense has a chance to be a really good offense.
Yeah.
If you get 2 of 3, and you get this version of Julio where the loud contact gets caught and the blitz and blumps are going to drop in, fine, because you can score a bunch of runs and you can steal a bunch of bases. That's okay too, but I want to see all 3 of those dudes at the same time, plus whatever player they pick up at the deadline to hit in the middle of them. I'm demanding that happens. I don't know what's going to happen if it doesn't happen, but I'm demanding it anyway. They've got a chance to be a really good offense, a really, really good offense.
Yeah, I think it's huge with Randy Arozarena. If he becomes that guy that you felt like you were trading for, and I don't think he hasn't been necessarily. It's just he's not like an 800 second best hitter in the lineup sort of guy. He's all right. You have 2 guys maybe that are guys ahead of him, and then he's like one of those dudes that can get hot and then can kind of sometimes go through some stretches where it doesn't work out. And we've seen both ends of that recently with him.
Yeah.
But I think there's still that untapped power for him. And if this continues, especially as the warmer months, as they say, continue to roll on, that'll be a huge thing for this offense. One quick question back to Cal Raleigh. We haven't talked about it yet on this postcast because it's not about the game, but he is going to the home run derby.
Sure is.
Are you... Everyone is like, are you concerned about him going to the home run derby? It's going to ruin his swing. What do you think about all that? Especially with how well he's doing things now. I just don't want to screw with anything, to be honest, more than anything else. It's not just about him doing the home run derby, and I think that specifically does it, but any sort of routine that kind of would change everything up. I feel like I just don't want to mess with anything, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I have no issue with it. I mean, there is a lot of evidence of guys being just fine doing it. And there's some evidence of guys who have done the home run derby and then struggled in the second half of the year. I think that's just natural regression for some guys. That's just the way the sport works. Big Dumper is so strong and deserves this, right? Like, if he wants to do it, I am totally fine with him. And Big Dumper is a lot of things. He's no dum-dum. Big Dumper is going to treat this like the event that it should be treated as. Yeah. And it's so cool that he's going to have his dad pitch to him and he's going to have his brother catch. Like, how cool is that, man? And like, the other thing here, and I brought this up with Jess, Jessamine McIntyre, our good friend, switch hitter, right? He's not going to wear out. He's probably going to do the Adley Rutschman and hit from both sides of the plate now because he is certainly strong enough to put up monster numbers there. I think it's great. Good for you, Big Dumper. Yeah. And I think people might be just looking into recency bias a little too much with the home run derby because there's plenty of proof that you can have a really good season and do that event as well.
And you know who's proof of that? The last Mariner to do it, Julio Rodriguez.
George Kenneth Griffey Jr. Yeah, he and then Julio Rodriguez as well.
Yeah, because both the ones that he went in, he went on an absolute tear right after he was in it. Sure. So that's personally, selfishly for the Mariners, like chances to be good. I wanted him to be in it because it's like maybe he finds his power swing by going to the home run derby more than anything else.
And you know what? I'll tell you this. It's not out of the question that they still could invite him because it's not based on how many homers you hit. It's not based on anything like that. It's based on star power. And if a bunch of dudes, Ohtani's basically already said no. I think Aaron Judge has declined every year. It could be there. How fun would a Julio versus Big Dumper home run derby be? I'm demanding that happen. Do I think Julio Rodriguez deserves to be in the home run derby? No, he's on pace for like 22 homers. It doesn't belong in there whatsoever.
Doesn't mean they won't fight him.
It's an event. It is an event, and Julio Rodriguez is must watch win those home run derbies. Like, it is so fun to watch, and if it gets him going and lifting the baseball again, sure, I'm all for it.
All right, unsung hero, who you got? Or you can go unsung villain if you want.
Yeah, well, the unsung villain is this weather, and it's stupid, and I hate it, and it's stupid.
It's like 75.
It was like 92 today at one point, and that's stupid. That's Anders. Look at our complexion.
I know. I'm usually one to complain about the heat.
Yes. Well, what can you do? My unsung hero, just because we didn't talk about him today, is Cole Young. Cole Young had a really nice day today. 3 for 4. What I really liked seeing, a hit against a lefty and also a hit that had 110 mile per hour exit velocity. The homers are going to start coming. He's getting more comfortable driving the baseball. He's getting more comfortable in, letting pitches travel because he's plenty strong enough, guys. He's plenty strong enough to start hitting. He's just missed on a couple as well. Yeah. I will guess that first ding dong happens this week. I will guess that he's going to be able to get that first ding dong and also hit a homer as well. But I will guess that he does. And it's just so great to see. If I had one complaint about Cole Young today, you also saw why he's not a shortstop. That arm is noodle adjacent. It is not great. That really should have been a double play. But I know Bobby Witt Jr. is so freaking fast that he's going to beat out most of them. It's not a great arm. And I think he's a second baseman, but a really good second baseman.
Yeah, I'm liking the way he's kind of coming around. This just looks the part of a dude who comes up, struggles for a couple weeks when he first is adjusting, but he's slowly but surely getting better and better and better.
And it's happened at every level.
Exactly.
It's happened at literally every level he's played at. Guys, go look at his numbers in Tacoma to begin the year. We were all wondering, you can't call this guy up with how bad he's been playing. And then look at the numbers by the time he got promoted, well above average, even considering how poor of a start he's got to. There's lots of players like this. At some point, we may need to have a conversation about Lazaro Montes and whether or not that guy can help you, because I love him and I want him to be my best friend. And he's really, really good. There's lots of really good prospects, and Cole Young played really well tonight. Who's your unsung hero?
Gabe Spire almost did the immaculate inning, looked absolutely dominant once again. I've been really impressed with how he's it's not just lefties too. He's doing well against righties. He's become one of my most confident relievers I'm most confident in at this point. It's Munoz and Brash. I think Spire is the next guy. Honestly, if you're going to put a guy in any situation where you need outs, I'm trusting Gabe Spire almost over anyone else right now. So good ups to him. We got one or two more in the series.
Three more. Yeah,
Apologies.
one of those weird 4-game series. It feels like they didn't play any 4-game series forever, and now they have 2 in the last couple of weeks. In this economy, it's just weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And no days off. So this is another reason why the whole bullpen conversation happens, and it's another layer to everything. But, you live and you learn. Dan Wilson, maybe he's starting to learn his lesson a little bit, but we'll see what ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. What a good win to talk about. These last 2 days have been why I love doing postcasts with you guys.
Amen.
And you, Chris Crawford, because we get to talk about a lot of positive things. I love chatting about the Seattle Mariners. Your non-beard looks fantastic.
I'm just seeing if I missed any spots. It feels like I might have missed a couple. But...
You should shave on the air sometime.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great television. Yeah, everyone would get
I'll talk about it while you're like, it's like a father-son while he's shaving. It brings down, Matt Brash just has that closer mentality,
Yeah. It sounds good to me.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, 6:40 first pitch. Who we got? Emerson Hancock tomorrow?
I believe so.
I believe it is. I do this every time. I don't know who our pitcher is tomorrow. I break down the game that we just watched. All right. I don't do the one.
We don't do the future. That's Ty and Colby, man. That's their job.
All right. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Excellent stream today. If you missed any of it, first of all, please like the video. That really helps us.
Yeah.
Share it with your friends. We love hanging out with everyone. This is the place where you want to hang out right after every single Mariners game on the Mariners Postcast here with myself, Anderson Hurst, and Christopher Crawford. You can catch it in audio format if you missed any of it. But if you want to go back and watch the video, just go to the Locked On Mariners YouTube page and you can go to the live section and you'll see all of our postcasts right there. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Any last words? Chris Crawford?
No.